I've got a great idea. Come on, let's get started.
Look around, find your inspiration. Take that step, use your imagination. You don't need to go direct, the road may not lead where you expect. Cause it's the trip, it's not the destination. Make magic, take the stage. Roll the camera, turn the page. Take a chance and do the dance. Our story starts with a beat in the heart. Find your own voice, it's what sets you apart. Our story starts with a beat in the heart.
Hello, I'm Tomie DePaola. Want to tell some stories? Come on in out of the rain. Ooh, boy, it's wet out there and a little chilly. Days like this make me want to curl up in front of the fireplace. Do you ever feel that way on a cloudy day?
Hi, Tommy. Great day for a long, relaxing nap, isn't it?
Oh, I know how you feel, Gabe. But weren't you going to clean up your art supplies today?
Who could clean up on a day like this?
What we're seeing here is the power of a setting.
Setting? What do you mean, setting?
A setting is where something takes place. And right now, our setting is this studio on a cloudy, cold day.
Oh, I get it. And to me, that's the perfect setting for a nap.
Sweet dreams, Gabe. When you're making up a story, setting is one of the first things you choose. Where's your story going to take place? It can be anywhere. The mountains on a winter day, the beach on a sunny day, or maybe even outer space.
What about the goat shed?
Oh, hello, Stregonona. What happened?
I know a story that is set in the goat shed where Big Anthony lives. Well, where he's supposed to live. You see, it all started one morning. Bambalona was bustling through her usual chores, baking pies, sweeping, dusting, and Big Anthony was doing his usual sitting around and getting in the way.
Hey, look, Bambalona. My fingers are doing the tarantella.
Oh, I don't have time for such nonsense, Big Anthony. I'm trying to get this room clean. Now, would you please move?
Hey, okay,
Go, go,
okay. I'll get out of your way.
Good.
Look at that old book.
Oh, look what you did to my pie!
Sorry. Tastes good, though. Bye.
Big Anthony, where are you? Bambalona, why is Big Anthony wearing a pie on his head?
Because he's an oaf and a pest who's always in my way, Stregonona.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? But maybe, you're a little bit mad at him?
I am. He has his own room out there in the goat shed. Why does he always have to be in here making such a mess?
Well, maybe because he's already made such a mess out there that he wants to be in here where it's nice and clean.
Ooh, you're right, Stregonona.
Well,
That gives me an idea.
uh-oh. Something tells me it's an idea Big Anthony is not going to like. Since Big Anthony's room in the goat shed was such a mess, Bambalona decided to clean it up. Then, maybe Big Anthony would spend more time there and less time bothering her.
Oh, it's just perfect. Everything looks absolutely lovely. I know Big Anthony will want to stay here all the time now.
But what is lovely and cozy to one person doesn't always seem that way to another.
Stregonona. Oh, I can't wait. Big Anthony is going to love his new room. He will never leave it.
Ah! Ah! Help! My room! My room! Someone has stolen my beautiful room! Help! Oh, it was terrible! Oh, Stregonona, frilly things, the doilies, chintz everywhere. Oh, I can never go back there again.
Now calm down, Big Anthony. I talked to Bambalona, and she's going to put your goat shed back the way it was.
It was just perfect before she changed it.
Big Anthony couldn't bear to go anywhere near the goat shed until Bambalona put every last bit of the junk and the dust and grime back where it had been. In time, Big Anthony moved into his goat shed again, but he was still around the house way too much for Bambalona.
I'm not in your way, am I?
No, that's okay, Big Anthony.
Bambalona learned that everyone has their own special place, and that sometimes it is best to leave a mess. Ciao, Tomie.
Ciao, Stregonona. Sometimes the story can be about the setting, like that story Stregonona just told us. And sometimes figuring out where you are helps you imagine what will happen next. Take a look. Every picture tells a story. What story do you see? I'm thinking about going to the moon. Well, actually, I'm thinking of using the moon as a setting for a story I'm going to tell. But it's a big decision. The place where a story happens can be as important as who your characters are or what they do. Oh, hi, Gabe. How was your nap?
Oh, slept right through it. Hey, what are you doing with the moon?
I'm thinking of using it as a setting for a new story.
Cool. Stregonona goes to the moon.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that, Gabe.
How about me? Captain Gabe, going where no squirrel has ever gone before.
Why not?
That's one small step for squirrels, one giant leap for nuts everywhere.
Now, let's make up a story that takes place in the jungle. Who would you put there?
Let's see. A polar bear.
Why would he be there?
Well, it's probably really cold where the polar bear comes from, and he wants to warm up.
Gabe brings up a good point.
I do?
You can put any character, any place, even in places where they don't seem to belong, as long as it works for your story.
So we could put Stregonona on the moon.
We could, but I think Stregonona likes it right where she is.
Grazie, Tomie.
Oh, prego, you're welcome.
Gee, if setting is so important, I better do some research.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna go someplace I've never been, then figure out why I'm there.
Well, Gabe is off in search of adventure. Let's meet someone who creates the places where stories come to life. Today's guest storyteller, John Iacovelli.
Hi, Tomie. I'm John Iacovelli, and I'm a scenic designer. I design the scenery for theater, film, and television, and I design the backgrounds where the actors perform. When I was growing up, we had all these art supplies around because my dad is an artist. And I decided, well, this is really neat. He's drawing and painting and doing all these things, but I want to be a performer. I want to be an actor. So I started getting involved with acting troupes and being on stage. But then I was always kind of looking backstage and looking behind and saying, well, how is this set made? And how do we change from one set to the other? And that just as a child sparked my interest. And all through school, I started getting interested in what's the setting for the play? How does that help tell the story? And I thought maybe I'd like to be a performer that works backstage. And that was really exciting for me. Sometimes I get ideas from just the script. It'll tell me, well, this play is set in a house. Or like for Peter Pan, which is a fantasy show, it's set not only in London, but it's set in a pirate ship, and it's also set in Neverland. When we get to Neverland, we go under the ground to the home underground. It's kind of like a cave that Peter Pan lives under the ground. It's a wonderful world that we create for Peter Pan. A lot of times it's in collaboration with the director, sometimes with the actors. And I'll say, well, what kind of a place do you think this set is? So the show that I'm currently working on takes place in a Victorian warehouse. But since this is supposed to be a fantastic warehouse, we have to fill it with all kinds of artifacts and animals and creatures and make it a really interesting looking place. First of all, I use a lot of basic art supplies like paper and pencils, and when I start designing, I'll usually do a little sketch of an idea, just some idea that came to me when I was reading the script. And maybe I'll put together what we call a white model. It's a little just made up of just plain cardboard, little white set, and I'll give kind of a sense of what the set looks like. And from that model, I'll make a more elaborate model, a color model, and that model will have a lot of details to it, and so I need a lot of little tools, cutting devices and paint and things. From then, it's really important for me to make a real scale model. I'll do everything like make the furniture and make whatever it needs, little carpets, because what I'm trying to show the director is exactly what the set's gonna look like in a bigger scale. So here we are in what's kind of like a science lab or a laboratory, and you can see it looks like a big room that we made, but actually if you go backstage, you can see that it's just cardboard and wood and plywood. Part of my design problem with it is coming up with what is the set made of. Is it made of bricks? Is it made of steel? But we might use fake materials. Well, here's a good example of what the illusion is. See, this is really not really brick. It's on a wood frame, and it's really like a wall that I could just even move easily and move out of the way. And all of these tools are used to create the illusion of the set. Well, these look like really heavy books, but actually, they're fake. So one of the ways that you can become a set designer is just looking around your environment. You can see what are the things that are in your house and compare them to your friend's house. What are the things that are in your friend's house? What are the things in your neighbor's house? Those differences are what make things interesting about people. They all have different things. So once you start recognizing those differences, you're on your way to becoming a set designer. Anyway, it was good talking to you today, Tommy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, John. It's incredible the way you can create almost any kind of world.
Here, there, hither, yon, to, fro.
Hi, Gabe. I thought you were out taking a trip to someplace new.
That's the problem. I'm having trouble thinking of any place new.
Sounds like you need to broaden your horizons.
What in the world is that for? Get it? What in the world?
I'll tell you. When you're trying to think of a setting for a story or a picture, looking at a globe or map can remind you of all the different places where a story can happen. Look, Gabe, here's a desert.
What a... I never should have joined the Foreign Legion.
That's the spirit. And look, over here are the mountains.
I claim this mountain in the name of Gabriel Wingnut. Yodel-a-hee-hoo.
Or you could even try going to the North Pole.
It's freezing. But at least I got first dibs on Santa.
When you look at the whole wide world, there are so many places you can set a story.
Hey, Tommy, don't leave me here freezing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gabe. Why don't you try Hawaii?
Much better.
Take out a globe and give it a spin. You never know where your story might end up.
Aloha.
Oh, here's Mexico.
Ooh,
Oh, that's
I'm
wonderful.
happy, right?
I should be drawing, but this cloudy day has made me feel a little lazy.
Not me. Surf's up.
Hang 10 for me. What I need is some inspiration. And I know just where to get it. From you. Everyone has stories to tell, and their own way to tell them. It's about sharing what's in your heart and letting the world know this is my story.
She's mad because it started to rain when she started to walk to the park. So then she went home and she told her mother, and her mother said that today they would be moving to Washington, D.C. And before they moved, they had a special treat for her. They were gonna go up to the mountains and play in the snow and sleep there overnight. When they moved to Washington, she got a new kitty, and they played with Jan together, and they played ball together, and she took the kitty to school and played with it after school.
Oh, thanks. You inspired me to get back to work. What's this? Gabe couldn't really be in Hawaii. Gabe! Gabe?
How's everybody doing? What's with the shades, Gabe? I'm looking into new settings, and I decided to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii? I'm doing pretty good. Get it? Hawaii? Doing good because it sounds like Hawaii? Oh, never mind.
Hawaii, that's cool.
Sounds kind of hot to me.
Then pick another place. When it's your story, the setting's up to you.
Well, how about a song set in the woods?
Such musical musing deserves to matriculate amid the flora and fauna. What do you say? In other words, hit it! Keep on telling stories!
Hey, Lungs, will you set the scene?
With pleasure. Sandy beach, mountains filled with snow, out of reach. In a French chateau, in the yarn, to and fro, ain't no place that a tail can't go. La 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 la,
La, la, la, la.
here's a tale about a homesick loon who was stuck up on the moon. Flew from there straight to Cameroon, and all in one afternoon. La 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 la,
La, la, la, la.
tell me a story, paint a scene.
Put it on a screen.
Tell me a story, there's a joke or a poem in every home. You gotta keep on telling stories. Tell me a story, tell me a story. You can travel all around the world in a single story.
You could start in the woods.
And end up on an iceberg.
Fall into a rabbit hole.
End up on an iceberg.
Climb the tallest redwood tree.
And
End up on an iceberg.
now how'd you guess?
Just lucky. Shall we make with the music?
Yeah.
Tell me a story.
So many places you can roam.
There is still no place like home.
Tell me a story. Every song you sing, gotta make it your thing. Gotta keep on telling stories. You know you won't be sorry if you keep on telling stories. Keep on!
Back from Hawaii so soon?
Hawaii's a big trip for a little squirrel. I've decided to talk my family into going there for our next vacation.
Where do you usually go on vacation?
Cashew Caves. It's the nuttiest place on earth.
Traveling is a great way to explore new settings.
But what if you don't get to travel much?
That's okay. You've already got the best setting right where you are, in the place where you live, your neighborhood and home. In fact, I can still remember the first time I saw the inside of our house back when we lived at 26 Fairmount Avenue. As soon as I got there, I ran up the stairs and down. I ran through the living room, into the dining room, back through the living room, up to the attic. Then I ran up and down and back all over again. Mom loved her new gas stove in the kitchen. Nothing but the best for our new house, my dad said. You set the dial for the oven to the right temperature, then turned it on and hoped it would light on its own. If it didn't, Mom or Dad had to put a match into a small space and light the gas. It made a whoosh sound when it was lit. I had a new bedroom that I had to share with my brother Buddy, plus brand new twin beds and a bureau. I got the bottom 3 drawers because I was shorter. Your furniture is genuine maple, Mom told us. Maple? When no one was looking, I licked the bedpost to see if it tasted like maple syrup or the maple candies we got sometimes. It didn't. We also had a just-in-case room. I wasn't sure what just in case meant Until one day when Mom and I went to the store to pick up decals. We picked out decals for the kitchen and the bathroom, and then Mom surprised me. Now, Tommy, she said, let's look at decals for the baby's room. Baby's room, I said. Yes, Mom smiled. You know the little room that we said would be a baby's room, just in case? Well, we're going to have a new baby in the family. A sister, I thought. When will she get here? I asked. She, Mom said. We don't know if it will be a new brother or a sister. You'll have to wait a little while because it takes time for babies to be born. That waiting was going to be hard. Even harder than waiting to move into our home at 26 Fairmount Avenue.
You really wanted a sister, huh?
Well, I already had a brother. Who needs another one of those, right?
And to think, it all happened right where you lived.
Stories happen everywhere, in imaginary places, around the globe, or right at home.
Did any squirrels live with you at 26 Fairmount Avenue?
No, Gabe. They live outside in the trees.
And you've never lived in a tree?
Not that I remember.
Oh, you really ought to try it, Tommy. Now there's a setting for you.
Remember, keep telling stories.
Say, Tommy, about a story, let's see. How about a story that happens in a tree and you're in it?
And I'm in what, the tree?
Yeah, in the
or
tree.
the story?